Oh, no truth, no lie. Inside. Bingies. Greetings, greetings. How goes it there, sad my guy? Sad my dude? Hello. And hello to you as well there, Onion. Made your official Steam cart? Alright. Send it to me. Send me like a picture or whatever. And I will get those to you by Monday, I think. Most random game. Is it the KFC dating simulator? Power washing 2? That's a good one. But yeah, no, there is literally, my sister has it, and at least another person you guys know has it. The KFC dating simulator. I'm not gonna question it either. I've stopped questioning things my sister does long time ago. But hello, everybody. Let me try and get my light on. There we go. How y'all doing? How goes it? Hello. Hello. You say, I don't know. It seems like it's an actual, like, full-on dating game outside of just Colonel Sanders. They turned Colonel Sanders into an anime dude. So. But first off, as per usual, how's the sound? How do I sound? Has the music sound? Am I too loud, too quiet? As y'all can tell, this is a different stream. In fact, I don't think anybody here was actually around last time I did this. I want to say I did this sometime last year, to be honest. It's gonna be a painting stream. All right. I got my water, my paint water. I even got a backup paint water. I have my paint brushes, most I've had for several years. Paint palette. I have my paint, but it's currently off to the side because I have a lot of paint. But we can't paint models without models. And I have hundreds of models to paint. How this is gonna work? I'm just gonna paint. I'm gonna yap. We're gonna listen to some music. I'm gonna tell y'all about some lore from the Warhammer universe. Just talk about random things. I'm just gonna stream. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. Hey, sad, look at you. Hell yeah. 10 streams. Goddamn. Verity, how goes it? How you doing? One sec, let me go ahead and get... There we go. So now y'all should be able to hear alerts. Could be. We shall see. Okay. Oh yeah? It's actually part of the reason I'm doing this stream today. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Yesterday was kind of rough. games, I was taking it way too seriously. I was struggling. I was in a pretty bad mental towards the end there. A lot of just kind of stress getting to me, you know. And I still very much like my games. Don't get me wrong. You know, I love my game. But sometimes you need to just take a step back and breathe, you know? So today, like I said, we're doing a painting stream. I haven't done this in over a year and a half, I think. And this was actually Kim's idea. So thank you, Kim, again, very much. You know? Yeah, consider this a palate cleanser, you know? My thing is, I want to get good at these games, you know? I want to get better. I want to, you know, be competitive, you know? But I just kind of want to improve my skills to show off to people, I guess, a little bit. Because in my mind, a lot of people won't come to me to watch me unless I'm good at games, you know? I don't have the looks. I don't really have the personality, you know? I don't have a lot of draws. So I gotta try and get good at games, you know? But that being said, I just lied to you. It's not about having the personality or the looks. Just the vibes, you know? I'm not a loud streamer. I just kind of enjoy streaming. Enjoy hanging out with y'all, you know? So I think today I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I need to be more chill and casual, but at the same time, it does frustrate me not being good at games because, you know, this isn't exactly a living that I do. You know, this isn't exactly like, oh, I'm gaming to, because, you know, puts food on the table. I don't. I would like to get to that point, but a long way away, you know. Just start making nice. Can't wait to see the full. Can't wait to see the full thing unveiled. But yeah, I'm well, I'm medically retired, so streaming is kind of like the side hustle in between college classes. But I is it really a side hustle if you really don't make money off of it? But in either case, today, starting today, we're gonna have a bit of a uh, we're gonna have a bit of a new tradition. At least once a month, but preferably like once a week, maybe. Uh, maybe like once every 2 weeks. I'm gonna do a little painting stream like this. You know, we just hang out, chat. I yap to y'all. Y'all get to see my fat fingers. I had a little kajiggering to do. I had to kajigger the camera that you see here because I don't have like a static stand, which I should probably get. I should probably actually get like a lamp base kind of thing to kind of angle as I need, but I kind of also blame my desk being a little bit on the small side. And I also only have one camera. Oh, that's why I should have got myself a crisp camera. Ah, well, I'll figure it out. But we need models to paint. You know, can't paint models without models. That's at least like 50% of the that's at least 50% of the equation, y'all. No one can ever have smartest than me. What, do you have like a little side table thing? Here we go. So, I have a few models I want to paint. A wood plank as G. Don't worry, when I win the lottery and get everybody their own computer, I'll get you an actual desk. I'll get you a school desk. It's just a plank of like wood with fucking 4 legs. Which Warhammer? Total War? Or the Space Marine? What's the news, Onion? Wow, it's a piano stand wood plank, not even like proper legs, damn. 40k? Oh, on like Tabletop Simulator? Okay. Yeah. Well, then you might like this stream today because I'll be yapping about the lore of Warhammer. Yeah, clean that bitch. Get that, get like one of those, aerosol cans that just have air. Oh, he is getting a new computer. Nice. Any idea what the specs are? Like, is he working towards it, or is it something like his parents gonna get him? Because if I win lottery, fucking once I take care of my shit, like make sure my family's good, all my bills are good, everybody around me is gonna be getting treats. He gets it tomorrow. Nice. Tell him to send a picture in the Discord chat. Tell him let us know what the specs are. But anyway, what we're gonna be painting today is, I don't know. There's a lot I want to paint because I have hundreds of models. Hundreds of models. But I think as a nice little palette cleanser, a nice little... Woo! Nice stream streak, Faraday. I didn't realize like you stop by that often. I know I say hi every time you do, but it always surprises me. Yeah, Sad has a 10% watch streak. So, there's a couple things I want to work on today. So, the reason I turned my mic up, by the way, can y'all hear me from right here? Can y'all hear me clearly? Awesome. So there's quite a lot of things I want to paint today. But one of the biggest things I want to paint is my rats. I want to paint my rats, but I'm not sure. Sure, actually, you know what? Let's paint some rats. Paint some rats today. So, as some of you may or may not know, Warhammer is split into two games. Two main tabletop games. Well, technically three now, but two that I care about, right? Warhammer 40k, which the best way to describe that is sci-fi, right? Very much aliens and robots and futuristic tech, you know, everybody hates each other, that kind of thing, right? The other one is Age of Sigmar, which is a fantasy-based one. There's limited technology to a certain degree, but we'll get here into that in a second. But it is limited technology, fantasy, magic, gods are real, but so are monsters kind of thing. Honestly, design-wise, I like Age of Sigmar more than Warhammer 40k, but that's neither here nor there. One of the factions is the Skaven, a race of very hateful, very despised, evil, like there is no question they are evil ratmen. Okay? Like, they are so prolific. For every Skaven you see on the world, there's tens upon tens of thousands hidden somewhere. Like, pure number game, they're probably the most expansive race there is. And they're evil. They have some of the most advanced technology in the setting. A lot of it explodes, a lot of it backfires, and some of it, as you can see here, is very much Frankenstein-based, right? This is a Hell Pit abomination. Because it comes from a place called Hell Pit, and it's a fucking abomination. And his name... I don't know. What should I name this guy? He's the only one of these I have. I have a different big monster for the Skaven, but this is the only copy of this model that I have. What do y'all think his name should be? Big Bob? I like it. I like it. Skaven have been around since the start of Warhammer. Back before there was Age of Sigmar, there was Warhammer: The Old World. It used square bases, models were big, chunky, and ugly. There's a lot of metal or resin. For the most part now, like everything, like 95% of Warhammer is plastic, but whatever. The Skaven have been around since then. About a year and a half ago, they actually got a refresh, which is when Games Workshop takes models that have been just kind of languishing and just kind of existing and update them. New rules, new model. It's actually fantastic, right? It's actually really, really good. And the Skaven actually recently had that happen to them about a year and a half ago. They got a whole bunch of new models. Not this guy, though. He's not the oldest Skaven model, but he's definitely one of the older ones. But he is in plastic. Now, the thing is, Skaven can be painted any number of ways. Warhammer can be painted any number of ways. There is no wrong answer. Technically speaking, you don't even have to follow the box art. Sorry, my chair, I need a new chair at some point, but you don't even have to follow the box art. You know, when Games Workshop shows off a new model, they showed off all nice and painted with, like, you know, official colors or whatever the hell. You don't have to do that, like, in the slightest, right? In fact, I, for the most part, like to kind of make my own paint schemes. Now, this guy has a lot going to him. Like, you can see the staples and the stitches, the arcane marks, the weapons. His dit and balls got replaced by a wheel to help him move better, because if you notice, he's kind of a giant hunk of meat. This thing look like it's begging for death constantly. But I will not grant it to him, for I am a cruel and capricious god. Anyway, I'm also noticing now I'm part of the model. Some of the hard to reach areas I did not fully spray or prime. But that's fine. That is fine. So, he has a lot of details and a lot of skin. There's a couple of methods you can paint. Wait, no, let me finish my thought earlier. There's no wrong way to paint Warhammer. If you're trying to do tournaments and such, yeah, your model has to have a non-bare black base. You know, so can't have just this. Got to put something on it. And has to be at least 3 colors on the model. So if you really want to, paint the skin, paint the weapons, paint the claws, boom, 3 colors. I tend to get lost in details a bit too much, so we're gonna paint this model a bit different. Oops. Need to make this some more. The problem is, a lot of colors in Games Workshop Citadel. Quick little PSA. If you're on a budget, don't buy Citadel. There's plenty of other perfectly fine alternatives that are cheaper and just more convenient, okay? I just bought this because it's what I know. It's what I'm used to using. And you don't want to buy like a whole other paint range and realize, oh, this sucks. But there's tens of thousands of other paints out there, I promise you. And frankly, James Workshop charges way too much. This little bottle right here, it's like 12 milliliters or 0.4 fluid ounces, like $6. Paint can stretch. It can't stretch that much. There we go. Unfortunately, as you can see with some paints, you really got to get it show. So today, I'm going to be yapping. I'm going to be teaching you some different painting techniques and kind of just having fun, right? So a method I'm going to be using is called dry brushing. And you might wonder, Talon, if it's called dry brushing, why the fuck did you dip your brush? Well, dry brushing, if you do it wrong or with a very bone dry brush, can leave residue and make the paint you put on kind of chalky looking, right? So add a little bit of water, dry it off, right? It shouldn't feel moist, but it shouldn't feel bone dry. That's very nice. So you want to use one of these brushes. You can use makeup brushes, by the way. Another quick little tip: Games Workshop way overprices a lot of their hobby materials. In fact, a lot of companies do. Get just regular brushes. They don't have to be horsehair. They can be synthetic or whatever. They could be makeup brushes, makeup sponges, whatever you want to use, right? But dry brushing, get the brush all up in that goop, right? It's all caked on. Gonna take a paper towel or a cloth, non-microfiber. Well, yeah, non-microfiber, or it could be microfiber. People have different experiences. But we're gonna brush most of this off, but work in the bristles. We're gonna get it all up in there, right? Is another reason why sometimes paint doesn't stretch as much as it should. There's a lot of techniques are expensive. Anyway, you want to make sure you get most of the paint off. You see there's still some paint on there, but it's all up in the bristles now. Now, I am using a grayish white because we're gonna take our model, Big Bob here, take our brush, lightly hold the brush up against the model. It's gonna run it rapidly across. Okay. Now, the point of this is it highlights a lot of the raised areas while leaving a lot of recesses shadowed. Now, some models, especially big ones or like Big Bob here, or depending how much you really want to get in there, may need a couple dry brushings. We're just kind of getting all over the place, avoiding the recesses a little bit. Now, you may not be able to tell the difference now, but once we're done with a couple brushings, typically, if I would have thought to do this, you would prime the model with a black and then build up highlights using a gray or a white. But I kind of forgot to do that the other day when I was priming this. Anyway, gonna skirt along all the details. Now, me using like a gray actually does work. It just means the shadows won't be as dark as it would be on other models. Yep. Nice and quick. Not really paying too much attention to the details on the bottom or underside too much. A little bit, but not too much. And you'll start to notice that Big Bob is starting to come to life a little bit. But again, we're focusing on mainly the areas up top. Mainly. You know. And any kind of areas we want to draw attention to. Okay? So, sorry, let me try and keep it underneath the camera. There we go. So if I want to draw attention to his belly, I'd get there a little bit heavier. Draw attention to his faces, because Big Bob is a looker with faces only a mother could love. Go. And I think the biggest thing too, we should ever do Helldivers 2 for stream. I never played Helldivers, to be honest. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I actually got Arc Raiders the other day. I have it downloaded. So maybe next stream could be Arc Raiders. Well, next stream will be tomorrow, which will be actually Rivals, I think, because new season. Or, sorry, new half season. Or we could do Arc Raiders tomorrow. Kind of let the season kind of chill out a little bit before we get started on it, you know? We'll see. But I wouldn't be opposed to tail diving. All right. And now, as you can see, Big Bob has been highlighted a good little amount. Right? Yeah, I didn't even know Helldivers existed, to be honest. So I've never played Helldivers 1. So we could do another dry brush of that white, but what I'm going to be doing now is shaking up this. If you see the difference, this is the white we use. It's an off-white. It's kind of grayish, actually. And this one's more of like a pure white, right? Kind of like a bone white, right? Very nice. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually partially colorblind. Certain shades of color look kind of similar to me. Kind of hard to differentiate them. Not too hard, but it's a pain in the ass. And red and green at a distance look kind of off to me. When I say at a distance, I mean like 100 feet plus. But anyway, so same little technique. We're gonna get some white built up here. Now you don't want to be too rough on your brushes. I mean, you want these to last. You don't want to spend money on more brushes, but you don't want to be too gentle. So since we have the white, we're gonna look for areas we want to draw attention to, or areas that are more facing kind of the light, right? So like if we're looking at Bob here, you'll be shining down on him from the front. So we would be highlighting the front right here. It could be shining on him from the top, right? I think our light is gonna be shining on the front right here, because this is the moneymaker. This is where all of the action is happening, right? So take our white. Start hitting a lot of those raised areas. Again, we don't want to get down in the recesses. We just want to make sure we hit these raised areas and leave a nice little coating of white. This one will probably do a couple coats on. Mainly because we're going to be hitting his top with a little bit of white, but we'll hit his front with more white. Kind of draw attention to it, you know what I'm saying? We want to get the veins, the curvature of the muscle, a lot of these sharp spikes. You know? It'll make our paint scheme pop just that little bit more, right? Don't forget his tail. All right, already looking pretty good. You can see the white is catching on the raised areas, catching on the sharp turns and the spikes and such. And if you look now, especially with how the light is, you can see we have our shadowed areas, and we have our not so shadowy or not so bright areas. We have our mid-tone, right? Very, very nice. All right. So we're going to do another little coat of that. You can control how much paint goes on here. Just wipe off less or more paint whenever you're dragging your brush along the paper towel or dry palette. So you have a lot of control over how it's going to look. I'm gonna be very liberal here with what I apply, especially on his skin, his big meaty claws. I'm gonna have to be careful not to take the fucking model out of frame too often, because then I'll be yapping, y'all be like, yeah, Talon, that's nice, but where's the fucking model? All right, very nice. I promise you, it's not as skillful as you think. It just takes a lot of practice. There's a lot of things I still can't do. A little more in his stomach and his face. Very nice. Okay. Now we're gonna give the paint a chance to dry and settle. I'll wash our brush off. I always have 2 water supplies because 1 metallics. You don't want to mix your metallic water with your non-metallic water. I'll explain that when we get to metallics. But also just good to always have a backup. Always have 2, you know? I got that nice and dried off. Gonna reform it a little bit. Always want to take care of your brushes. Now, while that's giving the paint a chance to settle, we are going to work on his base. That's now, you know, yeah, that was when you were like what, 5, 6. So give it a try. You might be pleasantly surprised. Righty then. Yo. So normally I have kind of like a wasteland-ish kind of vibe for my Skaven. But perhaps we do something up for it. I have a lot of basing supply. Yeah, I'd say it does. Yeah, and you just need practice, like just practicing putting the paint where it needs to be. Yeah. I love your creations too, Onion. They're pretty good. So this is the other kind of similar monstrosity that I painted way before Big Bob. This is Jimothy. The small one's Jimmy. The big one's Timothy. Because as you can see, he's got a little friend right here. Yes, he does. This took me... I don't even know. Back in the day, I used to just paint all the time, just all night. But this is a Brood Terror. And they're pretty fucking... I mean, they're terrifying. They're horrifying. Do not get me wrong, but they're pretty cool. And as you can see, it's just a bunch going on. It's a very busy model. AOS is very much like my favorite as far as like design goes, because the models just are just... But goddamn, is it like a pain in the ass to paint? Okay. But as you can see on his base, I have a bit of a wasteland kind of vibe going. Kind of like a wasteland kind of mud flat kind of thing. But I think we can do a bit better with this guy, with Big Bob. Yeah, I love my rats. They're great. Okay. Jimothy, you can hang off voice over here. So, also, got a teeth, got a little something something. You don't need as much stuff as I have. Keep in mind, a lot of this stuff I've had in my collection for a long time. Like basing materials. Like I've had these like flocks right here. Like flocks of grass I've had for like 3+ years, 4 years at least. So you kind of just like find stuff, you know? You can get a lot of your basing materials from outside. As long as you clean the dirt and the rocks that you use. The bark chips, you can get a lot of your stuff from outside. Harry. I have to cheat a little bit. Basing material, I don't want to use. You guys, the basic material I want. Oh, wait. Yes. Okay, that's perfect. So, this is the stuff you normally use to base your models quick and easy. These are called technical paints. This one is a mud texture paint. Typically, you would slop it on the base, let it dry, and depending on the type of technical paint you have, it'll crack, it'll form bumps, it'll be gritty like sand, right? But I think like rocks. Use some tufts of grass, right? So, gonna go ahead and grab a brush. One I don't really. You can apply this using a brush. You can apply this using hobby tools. Oh, this works. Oh, huh. I haven't seen this one in a little while. It's got a little scoop at the end. So, I'm gonna go ahead, grab a big old dollop. Gonna spread it along here. You can make it thick. You can make it thin. I think I might do this one a bit on the thick side. In fact, I can maybe even make it to look like the model is popping out of the mud. So we're gonna need glop a bunch on that. Now, the downside to these technical paints, they take a while to dry. They take a good amount of time to dry. So much so you probably won't even see this base be done today. Spread it out. Makes me wish I had some rubber tip tools, like help me spread this out. But don't worry about it being too even or too thick in some places. The chaoticness, the chaos of it will add to the charm. Promise you that. Normally a jar of this stuff would help me base like, 15, 20, 30 models. But since it's such a big model, need a little bit extra. That's actually why usually I use a brush. But you gotta be careful. Some of the particles in these technical paints can easily get up in the bristles and the ferrule of the brush and just spread it out. Using our tool a little bit. Our handy mouse tool. And if you want, you can let something like this dry, add onto it with another layer of the paint. Honestly, if I was thinking about this, I would have done this like earlier today before I left. Then it would have been probably dry by the time stream started. I could have done what they do on like cooking shows and just be like, oh, we're gonna put this chicken in the oven and then pull out a whole cooked chicken. Unfortunately, we don't have time to watch it cook, but I already prepared. You know? And fish out this. Very good, very good. Now, technically speaking, you don't have to do anything extra. Ham is very good. I cannot wait for Christmas, specifically because ham. Especially because like leftover ham and everything too. I'll let that dry. Give our little tool, rinse off. Go. I would say good as new, but might not. Now, that is gonna dry. We're actually gonna go ahead here so I don't actually land my elbow down on it. So you get to raid the fridge for ham. Nice. All right. For now, Big Bob is gonna go chill off to the side. We'll work on a different model. There might be a bit of hopping back and forth between models, just because with Warhammer painting or model painting in general, sometimes you gotta wait for it to. Sometimes you gotta wait for it to dry. Sometimes you gotta wait. Sometimes something else can pretend. Such as this boy. This is a Grey Seer. He's essentially a priest slash magic caster. He will call your god down. He will call his god down to smite your ass, kind of shit. The thing with Skaven, they're a very hateful, spiteful bunch. They hate each other. They hate you. They're just a fucking chaotic mess. The Skaven can work together, but it inevitably kind of falls to ruin at times. But the one thing they fear and like worship above all else is their god, the Great Horned Rat. And rats that are born with white or gray fur or with horns on their head are considered to be the favored of the Great Horned Rat. So a lot of people don't fuck with them. They become his priests, his clergymen. They become unofficially like top of the pecking order, top of the food chain, right below the Great Horned Rat. And we're gonna paint him. This model was actually replaced a while ago. Again, about a year and a half ago when Skaven got all its new stuff. This is actually the old Grey Seer model. The newer one is this. The newer one is this guy that I painted up a while back. All right. Got a nice little bell. He looks dope. Very busy model, but I think my paint job came out pretty solidly. And hold them side by side. The old one is kind of chunkier. He's made of plastic, but he's kind of chunkier, not as dynamic, but he still looks really, really good, right? So we're gonna go and paint this guy up. So I have two of them, because why not? Sometimes in Warhammer, you play multiple of the same unit. Like if I wanted to, I could have 3 Big Bobs. I could have 3 Jimothys if I really want. I'm not going to at any point in the near future, but perhaps in the far future. So we're gonna paint this guy up. Now I am going to try something different because I'm dumb and I want to be able to tell these guys apart, despite the fact that they already do look very different. So we're gonna get a bit wild, I think. I'm gonna paint using some colors I have not painted with. In fact, all of these. Oh, Altor Blue, that's always a good one. That one for later. Yes. Where is... Oh, not that one. The problem with having so many paints, especially of different sizes and varieties, I don't have a lot of storage space for the moment. I need better storage. But that is more of a problem for later. So... I think normally I do kind of like a purple paint scheme for the robes of my rats, but this guy is just kind of Kind of begging for a bit of like a turquoise color. Let me see if I can do it correctly. So, I'm going to do a little bit of a technique called wet blending. So I need to get both of my paints ready and shook up. I think we're going to be doing crystal blue into elemental bolt. Yeah, it's about the same thing. Shake, 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 shake. So, start with a crystal blue. Don't need a whole lot, because we'll be thinning it down. And elemental. So, actually, we don't want that water. That water is contaminated with our technical paint. I don't want to make anything else gritty. So, we'll drop some water on each. We're gonna thin our paint a little bit. Very, very nice. And blue. Yeah, the blue needed a bit of thinning. There we go. Okay. So what we're gonna do, typically you want to thin your paints to where you need 2 thin coats for full coverage, right? So right here, we're gonna go ahead and start painting the robes. I'm gonna make a choice of like where I want to some of the colors to I'm thinking because there's like a cowl and like a hood on. Start with this. We might need more blue actually. I thinned it down a bit. Add a bit more to the paint palette. This is also, the Army Painter is a different brand from Citadel, and I don't have a whole lot of experience using it. So that's okay with me. Oh, this might just be a thin paint. Alright, so the blue, I'm gonna put top of his robes. Oh, gonna bring it down the model. Actually, might actually need a couple layers. Okay. Go. Nice even little stroke. Turning the model so we make sure everything that we want to. Not too worried about hitting the skin, not too worried about hitting weapons or pouches. We are just painting. We're gonna get up under. Any mistakes that you make can be painted over later. Like, I'm not saying, like, you know, take your time, but I'm also saying, like, you know, don't blitz through it. Kind of find like I had a little medium for you. Now, notice we're not painting the entire model or the entirety of the robes, even though we're painting the robes right now. And that's where wet blending will come in a moment. Ah, I fucking love my little rats. I'll get this paint a couple, like a minute or two to dry. On the bright side, paints dry fairly fast. I'm getting messaged. Who the fuck? All right, so we're going to take a short little break while I step away to the bathroom. And let this guy dry. Any place that's pulling up, pull out. Okay, so this is kind of like a bit of a transparent paint. Interesting. Okay. I will be right back, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and step away and take a little break. So I recommend y'all get some water as well.
Embracing the fear, chasing the fight, the claw of the fire will light up the night. The bridges are burning, the heat's on my face, making the past an unreachable place. Pouring the fuel, fanning the flames. I know this is the point of no return. This is the point of no return. This is the point of no return.
Alright, I am back. So, our paint is more or less dry on here. We're definitely gonna need a second, to be honest. Maybe I thinned the blue a bit too much, but anyway. Go back over. I want to cover this a bit better. Alright, I gotta work quickly, because this is the layer we're gonna use our dry brush. Not dry brushing, our wet blend. Actually, looks like we might need a third layer. That's fine. We can do. Oh. Plop it on here. Don't get too thick. Definitely. We're gonna be picking up all our mistakes. Going covering up. Again, we're not painting way down with the blue. working it in there. Like I said, like a lot of the painting for this game is kind of just figuring things out, just having. There you go. So that's a bit better coverage. Gonna need perhaps. That is all right. I placed Big Bob's face on my heater, so it'll dry a bit faster. I feel good today. Today was a really good day. I was out and about all day. Well, not all day, for a few hours at least. I was out and about. I was delivering supply packages. Power Washer 2, nice. Brotato Abyssal Terrors, interesting. Incredicer, whatever. BTD 6. Ooh. Alright. Sad, definitely made the most out of the fucking $50, let me tell you. Man, Marvel Rivals is fucking Anyway. Our guy's gonna be looking pretty spiffy. Now, for the most part, you do kind of want like a general theme, whether that's a paint scheme or like a general idea across your armies to kind of unify them, make it look like they were part of one force. One that could be boring after a little while, you know, depending on your army, depending on how you feel about painting, that could be boring after a little while. Plus, I feel like for Skaven at least, the more chaotic they look, the better. Now, so like a little extra something to set this guy up. Great bolt. I recommend getting used to a wet palette, especially if where you're at is very humid or dry, depending. I don't use a wet palette; they're kind of annoying, but I need to learn how to use one. Alright, that's just starting to dry up. There. See, unfortunately, this isn't the this isn't like those YouTube videos that's like, all right, we're gonna start painting the ropes. They start putting some paint down. There's like a little cut, and then you get to the ropes dried and all painted. This is not that type of. Go ahead. For our third and final layer. So for this blue, I need to make a mental note. Need to thin it. Alright. Now we're going to very quickly clean our brush. Go to our elemental bolt. Our green. And partway up the blue, we're going to start moving in with the blue. Makes a very nice. This is called wet blending. You're blending the paint while it's wet. Rocker, but it kind of helps build a better transition. Kind of like also builds more interest wherever you're wet blending. Right? Wet blending. There we go. Sometimes it's hit or miss. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. but don't be afraid to experiment, you know? And if you make a mistake, you can always clean it up, or do what I do and just say, fuck it, you ball. Alright? I'm gonna bring this down towards the edges. Like his robe is transitioning into a very, like, color. Minty green kind of, okay. There we go. It's still a very good model, despite how old it is. I don't think this one even that old, all things considered. You know, this is a very good model. Sure. Paint is thin enough. They're not obstructing detail. Very. So we're gonna let it dry, and while we let it dry, we're gonna start really picking out his fur and yeah, we're gonna start picking out his fur, and it actually has a very nice, if you look on his face here, very nice little transition from his face, his skin right here. There's a very nice little transition from the skin to the fur, you know? And I think, again, the Warhammer models, despite how expensive they are, because they are expensive, despite how expensive they just, is it worth the price? Eh. Mm. I could probably get away with selling for like half the price, but whatever. Okay. For his skin, the perfect color, if I can find it. Ah, yes. No. I have rat skin flesh. I know it looks kind of like orange right now, but when it's painted and dried on, when it's painted and dried, it is a very nice. Sorry, I gotta make sure I really shake it up. Make sure all the pigments are mixed together very nicely. But when it dries, it becomes a very, very nice kind of I mean, it's a very weird flesh tone because, you know, giant rat, but well, probably got a bit more than I wanted there, but yeah, this one's definitely kind of chunky. Make sure this stays nice. We're definitely gonna be bouncing back and forth between several models today, I think. Just because I kind of want to try a bunch of different. Oh, might be a bit too thin. But a lot of the rats don't have too much exposed skin. Usually they have like some kind of armor or robes, as you can see on. But have or skin. Now, since the robes are drying, we definitely want to be careful because if we fuck up the skin, we could fuck him. In, all painted up. Mm. Make sure no air bubbles form. Make sure it's not too thick. again, if you splash over a little bit, unlike the little trinkets, that's fine.
Put doom on hold. If life's a toss of dice, how blessed am I to re-roll? Strolling out my tomb, I strike for fruit so beautiful, because whatever doesn't kill me only shows me what's improvable.
And again, if you do mess up, don't worry, you can either fix it or cover it up and cheat later. A bit of a tickle tickle. Go. Also, we're not gonna hit his tail, believe it or not. The tails, I like my rat tails to be nice, like a worm. That's a bracelet. He's got a bunch of little rings and everything. Like the clergy, he is. Gotta look blinged out to best serve the Lord. Gonna work on his. Write this down. The fur is definitely gonna be like a different color though. Like I said, these guys usually born like a grayish white fur. I might do like an off-white. It's these moments too, like when you're up and close to the model. You notice some very cool, like this guy's right eye is replaced with a chunk of warpstone, which is a type of material that's found in the warp, basically the afterlife. You got the pit bull. Aww. Is your grandparents' pit bull just a big sweetie? But this warp stone, the Skaven use it to create and power that technology. They're also addicted to it. They will eat it. Not very smart, but they like it. And this guy obviously jammed a shard into his eye. He does not listen. Is he the spoiled big baby? No. I don't know why people are so scared of pit bulls. I have an old one. She turned 19 the other day. 19. He's old. They're like tumors and shit, but they're not hurting her. They're not like inhibiting how she moves, and she's not in pain. So like, doctor's like, yeah, she, as far as we can tell, she's fine. You want to eat anything but a mixture of hamburger meat, milk, and rice with some spoiled ass. God damn, I thought my animals are spoiled. I don't know why people are so scared of pit bulls. Like, they're the biggest sweeties. Like, seriously. I hit the robes. Everything. If it looks a little messy, that's fine. We can clean it up. Or, I mean, honestly, like, sometimes models just look messy and kind of, like, adds to their charm a little bit, you know? Ugh, I love my rats. I really do. I probably bought too many, like, off-rip. And I definitely have some bigger models I need to paint for my rats. But I love these guys. They're great. Oh, we forgot to paint his little buddy up top. He has a little rat friend up top, like an actual rat. You know? The Skaven hate everybody. They hate each other. They hate humans. They hate dwarves. They hate elves. Oh, they're a bunch of bastards. But sometimes in like a very over-the-top comical way. A lot of times it's horrifying. Like, even though it's portrayed for humor, like in the lore or in the books or whatever, it's horrifying. Like, these are rat men. Like, they're like 4 or 5 feet tall, like the average rat Skaven. But they have horrible monstrosities. They're just evil. But I've also realized I don't mind playing the bad guy. Or at least, like, I enjoy the bad guy's sculpts for the models because they look really good. They look really good. Now you gotta be careful though, because Skaven is a horde army. Meaning you could, in a 2,000 point game, which is like the average game size at like tournaments and the standard mode of play, for 2,000 points, you could end up fielding like twice as many models as your opponent does. Because Skaven are cheap. They're very cheap in points cost. Alright, the robe is almost dry. The wet blending, I think it came out fine. I'm gonna have to really good. Now let me see how Big Bob's face is coming. It's actually drying pretty nicely. It's still wet, don't get me wrong, but it's starting to form ridges. It's like one of those fucked up brownies that are just like all full of ridges and air pockets and shit. But we're gonna put this back on the heater. I'm feeling really good. There we go. Listen to the music, just yapping and painting. This literally just makes me very happy, you know? It just makes me happy. Trying to see. I was trying to check something. Good. Alright. These paints, as you can see, also have different drying times, like the orange, or the rat skin flesh, like orange-brown. Already crazy to me. Well, we just need the robes to dry just a smidgen more, so... I can tell I am very... Aren't you guys stunned at how prepared I am? And again, this also was kind of like an off-the-cuff kind of... Like I said, I was in like a very bad mood last night after nothing on y'all's part. Nothing, like, y'all had nothing to do with it. I was just very upset. Questioning my motives for being a streamer. Ugh. Little dropper bottles. The nozzles always get clogged up so easy. Anyway, I just need a little bit of pink because while I'm down here, paint this guy. I'm just gonna paint this guy's tail. It's good to look at a model. I don't do this too often, but it's good to look at a model and like plan ahead. Like, okay, I need to do this, get these colors out, or I'm gonna paint this and this and this. So you don't, I wouldn't say waste time, but you kind of do waste time if you go about it the wrong way, right? Typically, when I'm painting, I paint from the inside of the model out. So the deeper, it's either the deeper details or the details that make up the most of the model, right? Like if the model is mostly skin or cloak or whatever, you paint that first. And it definitely helps. It slowly work your way to the outside of the model. And then kind of end off before the base, kind of end off on like the metal, the small metal details, the filigree, the facial features, you know? And it also depends on the type of model you're painting too. This guy, he's a character. You know, he's not named obviously, but he's a character. You know, he's a bit better than the rank and file. You know, he's not just some little goober, some little goon that is going to die instantly. Well, he could die instantly, is what I'm saying. Look at his robes. He's coming along really nicely. Blue, kind of like a peppermint blue into like a mint green color. I'm really liking it. I'm really liking it. Looks like a... Oh. So, now that we spent the time making that look so pretty, we're gonna dirty it up. The in Games Workshop in the Citadel colors, there's several different types of paint. Base paint, shade, technical. This right here is a shade paint. No, well, I'm gonna shade a little bit. Make it good. Known as Agrax Earth Shade. It is a dirty brown kind of color, and it's more watery. You don't thin this down at all, unless you want to kind of tone down the intensity. But for the most part, I'm gonna slop this on. But it's watery because it's meant to tint colors. As I said, this is a brown wash, so we're gonna use it and thing dirty brown. This guy may be a clergyman. He's also a rat. This nice and slopped on. Now the problem with shade paint. A second. We're also gonna put this on his skin. That rolling. You can use as many or as little of these techniques I'm telling you, by the way. You don't have to make things dirty brown. You don't gotta use shade paints, whatever the hell. Ooh, I'll check it out in a second. I love me some dows. But we're gonna get this. It'll sink into the recesses, making them darker. It'll also stain the... It'll stain the model. Make it... If I wanted to make it look like maybe greasy or oily, or even just darker in general, there's a paint called Nuln Oil. There's different shades for the different primary colors, like pink, blue, and stuff. All up. But typically, depending on the type of model you're painting, you can spend more time, less time, you know? You don't want to spend like fucking 6 hours painting a singular model that you have 50 of in your army, and that will be, you know, murdered the moment something looks at it. You know? Don't want to do that. I mean, you could make it look very nice. And I know there are plenty of people who do take that extra time. But especially if you're wanting to just play games, I gotta get it. You know, gotta get good at painting at least the chaff models very fast. You know? No, should actually drive most of Games Workshop paints, like regular paints. Although now that I'm looking at it, maybe I should have thinned down this paint a little bit, because now you can barely see this guy. But that's okay, we can always bring the blue back a little bit. Hot. All about finding balance. like what you got to do for the hobby and what you want to do for the hobby. You know, if you like painting, you like painting. If you like building or collecting, or if you like playing but hate painting, you could do that. All right, let me check out the uppers. Give me the puppy. Oh, it's so cute though. Is that a chocolate pit bull? I was about to say chocolate lab. That's all so cute. Hello. We're painting rats. Painting ratty boys. Might have used a bit too much wash, but it's all good. Oh, we forgot to add a little bit of a wash. Forgot to shade his little rat friend. Because even if you're a rat, even if you're a stinky rat, you need to have another little rat friend of your own. Yeah, I definitely should have thinned this down. I don't remember Agrax being like this fucking strong of a color. That's all good. All good. If you see you got too much of a paint, especially like a shade paint, wash your brush, dry off the moisture, and you can wick it away using the Flurry effect. Okay. So he's currently drying, but he'll be done soon enough. And guess what? It's time to swap to another fucking model. Because there's a paint scheme. So these are Flesh Eater Quartz. And they are fucking ghouls. In Age of Sigmar, typically armies are breaking up between 4 factions, 4 grand alliances. Order, which is quote-unquote the good guys, even though some of them do some really heinous shit. They want to build empires and such, as we'll call the Order. Destruction, which is not necessarily evil, but they just want to fight, destroy, or they have no interest in building these civilizations, right? Chaos, which is the ones who follow the demons and such. Skaven is part of Chaos. And Death, which is, well, the undead. And the undead are loosely aligned underneath the Death God Nagash. He's a bit of a cunt, but it is what it is. But the Death factions are kind of like different genres of undead, right? You have these Soulblight Gravelords, which are spooky, scary skeleton men. Sorry, Soulblight Gravelords are vampires with like zombie or skeleton servants and such. The OCR Bone Reapers are the militaristic Spartan style of undead. They're kind of like bone golems, but they have their own thing going on. And the Night Haunts are basically bedsheet ghosts. They're like wailing spirits of the damned. And then you have the Flesh Eater Quartz, which are ghouls, which are, well, ghouls. You know, they eat flesh. The thing with these guys, which makes them very interesting, is that they are under a collective delusion, right? They are under the delusion that they are noble knights of the realm, noble knights, gallant kings. Uh, they just see this world differently. You know, an onlooker may see, you know, these horrible monstrosities butchering their companions and eating them. But the flesh eater courts see, you know, horrible monsters that need to be slain for the realm, or, you know, they're engaged in honorable duels in their mind. The feasts they throw are banquets of amazing grandeur with noblemen from different kingdoms coming to partake. But again, they're monsters. They are 100%, 100% monsters. It's kind of like a tragic monster, you know? Almost makes you feel bad for them. They also got a refresh, some time ago, actually, in a couple years. But they got a bunch of new models because they were kind of old and ugly. They still got a couple of ugly models, but for the most part, they're very much new and very good. But I wanted to try a new paint scheme idea. You see, I want to do a Frozen paint scheme. And I don't mean Frozen the movie. I mean like bodies frozen, frostbite, hypothermia type shit. So I thought, why not use it on the faction that is like 95% naked, you know? Why not? I'm gonna give these guys a quick little dry brush to really make the skin pop, right? Just really make it pop. Yes. So I'm gonna need 2 colors. I think it's gonna be a very cold paint scheme with very, very little warmth to break it up. Go. So this probably works. Rylar Glacial. Then I also need a black. Black. Put a purple one. Purple's... There is my black. I'll try. That's green. One of these days I'll get actual. If I can remember. That's not even so much that I forget. It's just like there are more important things than my own little vanity projects. Are way more important things. So we're gonna get a blue, a purple color, and there is my black. Come on. Here somewhere. Gotta be. Sometimes I also have to remind myself, paint projects don't have to be an entire ordeal. Sometimes, I'm not saying like just slap paint onto a model unless you really want to do that, but sometimes less is more. I know people say that a lot, but in the case of Warhammer, it kind of is the case, you know? That kind of is the point. Oh, come on, I know. I have to black contrast paint here somewhere. I knew I would do. This is disappointing. I promise this doesn't usually happen. That's a lie. Maybe it does. Usually, I see some videos that are like, maybe? Yes, found it. Usually I see some people going like, I'm gonna paint this model using these 8 or 10 paints or whatever. They're doing like a bunch of mixing and such, and I'm like, that's great. Unfortunately, comma, I am partially fucking colorblind. Kind of hard for me to tell the difference of these colors. Ooh, and I can actually get But yeah, I don't use just like one. I don't use like just a small handful of colors. I use a lot. Sometimes I don't use all the colors I put out, but more often than not, I just like to experiment. You know. Go. There we go. All right, let's keep it rolling, shall we? So, I want to do a bit of a glacial for this on these guys. I'm definitely also gonna have to work fast because I'm gonna be doing a bit of wet blending. Because with contrast paint, you only need like one layer, one thin coat, because it stains very well. Okay, I see what I gotta do. Yeah, it's like, it's very liquidy. 4. Oh. A little bit of and a little bit of black Templar. Come on. You're not stuck in here. Okay. Black Templar. Gotta be careful. I don't want to stain too. That one's empty. Contrast medium. Got it. Okay. Okay, there we go. Mix them. I put some contrast medium in because it's like thinning your paint with water. But in this case, with contrast, it actually works very well at lessening the intensity of the color, right? Because sometimes you don't want your purple to be, you know, fucking pitch black, you know? Nice thing. But at the same time, they also do have different types of contrast paints for different shades. Honestly, as much shit as I give them, the Games Workshop paint selection for the prices and like the amount you get for that price, they have a good selection. But I digress. So, what I'm thinking is we're gonna be putting blue on basically everything. But like halfway down the arms or like the limbs will be like a little bit of purple for a couple of inches, and then the rest will be black. Again, it's like, you know, frostbite. In before I don't even know what I'm. Gotta work fast. Doesn't. Wow. Shit. So it looks like I thinned the blue down. Like I could have a, yeah, I thinned it down. The did we do? I don't want it to be like overwhelming. Be like, hey, there's still. Don't want to pull down. Pull it up. All right. Brush. Purple. Real fast. Go. Watching it. I can. And whatever I don't get painted during the stream today, I'm definitely gonna be finishing later on my own time. This spread it out, play with it a little bit. How we like it. Because if this works out well, the rest of my Flesh Eater Quartz army, because I have a lot, will be all the better for it. Now, we're going to transition to our black, while the purple's still a bit wet. Rest. I don't worry about the claws because those will be like their own like little color. Purple a little bit, miss a spot back here.
What's up, guys? It's Ben from Nerd Out.
Helps me blend it in with the black.
Big shout out to PvP Twitch for that awesome Junkrat gameplay. His
You
links will
know.
be in the description below, so be sure to check
Now,
him out.
this would definitely be very much painful for these
Be
guys.
sure to click that subscribe button.
Uh,
We'll see you next week.
but fuck them. These guys definitely are monsters. Even if it's like a tragic type of monster, these guys are still definitely monsters. You know. So how they came this way back in the day in the old world, back when before Age of Sigmar was a thing, back during the end times, which is when GW canonically was trying to end that world, even though it was so popular. Um, Nagash, the big death god, had lieutenants called Mortarks of, and they were kind of like the bosses of like their own like little respective, right? Even mid paint job, if you don't like how something's turning out, I can no, don't be afraid to change shit. Go back to the blue on here. Black a little bit. But Nagash, his lieutenants, his Mortarks, one of them was named Usharan. And he was imprisoned for God knows how long. Like, it was long enough that the man started tweaking. He went mad. Crazy, crazy. He was so crazy, actually, especially in a world where, like, belief, like in Warhammer, belief is like an actual power. Uh, his delusions were almost made and they actually became infectious to people around him. And it's a madness that spread to all of his followers, the Flesh Eater courts, and monsters they are today. Got his. I might actually have. So this blue is not as right. I don't want to pull too much in the recesses. The paint. Go. Look a bit ugly right now. Besides, why, like, just experiment a little. You know, you're trying to paint, trying to do new things. Just experiment. And that kind of like applied in with it. A lot of people are so worried about go go go. Get done, which that's a fair thing. Like if you're worried about like efficiency and things, that's fine. But try to have fun. You know?
Legs are tied, these hands are broken. Alone I try, with words unspoken. Silent cry, a breath is frozen. With blinded eyes, I feel
There we go. Gotta let that dry. While that's drying, come back over here to our priest. Looking nasty. Yeah, I definitely need to thin down at Agrax Earthshade. You can't even see the fucking... If I can. You can't even see the goddamn transition I did. God damn it. Ugh. That's fine. We can always bring it back a little bit. We can always bring it back a little bit. Stream is all about trying new things. Ugh. Big Bob's base. Actually almost dry. Awesome. Ah. Oh. This. I think it's fine so far. I'll lick up some of this excess. I really don't need to wig up this excess right here, but I don't piece of. He's like, I'm not gonna. Always blew it up later. Actually, maybe I can do like a little. Thin on the purple and more. In a worst case scenario, if I don't like how this turns out, I can always just strip them with paint. Try again. Great about. Try again. There we go. Okay, now while that's drying, this guy's not quite dry. Yeah, we're gonna get a bit more time. Oh, I'm feeling really good. I think I'm gonna step away for a second, get some water. So BRB, everybody. Alrighty then, I am back. I should have tested this paint. Although now he's looking pretty. This is an Arch Regent, which I understand is a very good model to have multiple of the Flesh Eater Quartz army. Good. So the priest over here is more or less done. So, wow, this is really good. So, what if I go ahead and take a crystal blue again? Do a bit of a dry brush. Go. Dry brushing fixes all of my mistakes. Not really, but fuck it. I'm gonna abuse it. So, we're gonna want to keep it gunky a little bit, but color. I have a very bad habit of spending time on one model. I've more or less painted all my chaff for my rats. Basically, like all the little guys are just gonna go out there and die, you know. But get better. It's not even really just like getting my paint scheme better. It's just kind of not worrying about the. Definitely worry about the details. But this is keeping it nice and dirty, kind of like in the deeper recesses, but blue drop backwards. Do a very faint. I do. Okay, what if we're all about experimenting. Everybody gets a little bit. Everybody gets some experiments in their life, right? Keep it. Oh shit! My song's on. Hell yeah! Make sure I don't fucking snap the armor or anything. Oh, that's good. I remember when this shit came out, fucking, yeah, it was like back in like 2014. God damn. Fucking time flies, man. Over a decade. Actually, it might have been like, was it like 2012 when Five Nights at Freddy's came out? And I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I'm surprised this game took off as much as it did. Then again, it probably helps that Scott Cawthon was whipping out games. Here's your coming out. Come on, eyes out. Like, Freddy. All right, now this is the problem I have. I get one idea and it's working well, but then I get another idea. I'm like, oh, this idea will work so well too. Haven't used this paint yet. Definitely should have used this on some other test models. What? This little green color. I think that is like one of the cutest puppers I've ever seen. Not as cute as my dog, necessarily, but still a very, very cute dog. Remind me to post some pictures of my dogs later in chat. This is a very strong group. Damn. Not bad luck choosing colors, I guess. He doesn't stare in two directions at once. Does he have like a lazy eye, or can he just do what Pennywise does? He's like, give me treats, and his eyes just fucking float in different directions. That's good. Excuse me. Yeah, these weird eyes look like human. I've noticed a lot of pets do have eyes like that. I don't know what to think about that, you know? It's really interesting. Honestly, this one right here doesn't come out too bad. My little frostbite guy. Got the blue for the skin. Going into purple like halfway down the limbs, into black for the hand. Comparable to a seal. Goofy, you mean? He's so smooth. He's aerodynamic, you mean?
my image, I'm burning down this whole planet with mandatory attendance. I know you can't comprehend it, can't stop this ultimate weapon. This ugly world you're protecting is hope and true evolution. If you don't mind, imagine no
Alright, Big Bob's base is almost dry. Some of the ridges are still a little bit soft and pliable. So might be able to fuck with the base a little bit today, huh? Dozer and Tank. That's cool. That is fantastic. I like it. It's so weird doing this, like, painting, like, on stream. Oh, the other Pitbull was named Zeus. Gotcha. I like how some dogs have, like, the cutest little name. Or they have the, like, meanest name or whatever. Or, like, most intimidating name, and it's just, like, the goofball. You know? I think that's... Rocks. Ah, here they are. Oh, we're gonna go ahead and plop down some rocks, I think. Doesn't really matter where we put them. Drop them. Actually, the big ball won't be standing on the rocks.
prepare for trouble.
Look. Very good. I need a rock. This is basically Elmer's glue that I'm using. Essentially Elmer's glue. Bigger. You don't want to, depending on what you're doing, you don't want some things to be too uniform, right? We're just gonna there. Now these are made out of cork, and technically speaking, most people stick these down first and then like go spray the models. They're covered by primer. Do you have any ideas for any of the redeems you would like to see? Feel free to spitball, you know, like whatever ideas y'all may have. Feel free to toss them my way, you know. If you want to see a specific one for games, if you want to see stuff for giveaways, let me know. I need to go through and clean up the rewards, the redeems again. Go through and clean them up so they make a bit more sense. Alright. Now we're gonna add some tufts of the tufts of grass will be last. I'm doing some dry brushing. I don't want to dry brush the tufts of grass on accident. I've done that before, and that was annoying when I fucking noticed it. A lot of time, I kind of just like blank out when I paint. You know, I don't really pay attention. So. Oh, look at those. Wake. Wake. Righty then. What do you think of this so far, Onion? I'm kind of trying to go for like a frostbite kind of look, right? For like my zombie army. Well, ghouls, zombie. There we go. So like a majority of his body's blue, but then it transitions to purple, into black at the tips of the limbs, like his ears. And I'm gonna get some red highlights, like his flesh is inflamed. But what do you think? What do you think? I get some more blue up on his skin. Some nice bright highlights, very icy looking. These guys are gonna have an icy base. Question: what's the best way to go about it? I can just slam a bunch of this technical paint on there, but I want like a little bit. The best way. I have a couple ideas. Stink. Give him a bath then. Or does he not like baths? Oh. Done. Yeah, probably. Fucking don't need a scrawny ass kid trying to wrestle with a dog that's like half his size. No offense, obviously, but looking very good, I think. Fucked up a little bit on the on some of these, but that's why we do this. You know, we practice, get better. You know, like 2 years does not sing at all. I have no clue why it doesn't smell. I don't know actually. Maybe it's like a. Well, some people don't smell like whenever whenever they don't shower, but animals is like weird and different. Go. Nah, damn. Grandparents like get him from a breeder or something? All the animals I've ever had, I think, have all been adopted. Adopted or rescued. I'm gonna get him all the shots mentioned, got rid of his tail and dew claws, pink with document. He got rid of his tail? Ugh. I don't know. It kind of makes me feel bad for the dog, but if it was done, like, painlessly, then whatever. But I'm very empathetic when it comes to, like, animals and other people. So right here, I'm just cleaning up the areas. Now that help differentiate his wing from his arms. Yeah, very. Okay. If I'm not an expert on something, I try my best not to speak like I'm an expert, you know what I'm saying? I'm just worried about animals feeling pain or suffering some kind of effect from not, having their tail for balance or whatever. Much like the ALS models, Sometimes. Very weird playing. I was originally gonna do a kind of like rotten, falling apart look, but I was like, nah, everybody does their guys like bloody and fucked up. I want to be. He only he only has one ball. Well, could y'all not afford the entire fucking neutering? Or were you like, sorry, Dozer, we're gonna come back for your other ball later? Go. I'm trying to keep it in frame. Reclaimer. Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta replace my paint water. So BRB, everybody.
hell am I with every power take? Another crowd in line and every curtain call. There's a mountain climb. Buried in binary, towered high with everyone in zero. We're powered by. Can a neural network without a spine? A supernatural answer we're bound to find. I'm becoming a god in my crown of shine. Literally deified. just put you how alive. Deep down we're dying and just drowning. I keep smiling, I'll get the formaldehyde. Now this may be a bit traumatic, cause I'm just a bit dramatic. Simply to exist is to be damned. I think therefore I am
Extracted, compacted, my life micro-transacted. Consciousness just got cash, similar to crypto, built for crashing. Trapped in a cartoony mess now, literally everything I do ingest. Careful of what media you ingest, that includes what you set upon your head. I'm in an unpoppable, polypable, venomous markets, I got eatable. Terms of the condition, untreatable. Nothing is real, but I feel my teeth are pulled. Leave it to me to see what other people don't. A secret not so concealable. A bit my bitch, yeah, he's a wolf. Not a sheep I can see underneath the wool. Why avoid what we all know? Cain is unable to eat a people soap. When you make vegetables out of people rope, you get a sacrifice quite feasible for someone anything unbeatable. Taught us that death might be cheatable, but from this dream I'm unpinchable. To give me exit is unexitable. I can be a bit dramatic, but isn't this a bit traumatic? Simply to exist is to be dead. I think therefore I am
so miserable, but at the least slapstickable. I'm a damaged mannequin, unfixable, so don't bug this money, I'm untrickable. Look at these misfits, so pitiful. If it was kickball, all unpickable, cyclically predictable. If y'all don't applaud, I know crickets.
So I guess I'll not put a smile on. Don't let what's inside be the style you don't. Play your tiny violin, singing oh for me. For how old was I? Then how old were we? To think the exit might exist is like belief in God. It's a comfort to pretend it's real when you feel it's not.
This will be a bit traumatic, cause I'm just a bit dramatic. Simply to exist is to be damned.
I think therefore I am.
Falling too fast to prepare for this. Tripping in the world could be dangerous. Everybody circling as vultures. Negative, nepotist. Everybody waiting for the fall of man. Everybody praying for the end of times. Everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run. I was born for this. Whip, whip, run me like a racehorse. Pull me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip, slip. Word upon your lip, lip. Better that you rip, rip. Break me down and build me up. Whatever it takes. Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I'll do whatever it takes. Cause I love how it feels when I break the chains. I'll do whatever it takes. Now take me to the top. I'm ready for whatever it takes. Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I'll do what it takes.
All right, then I'm back. There we go. There we go. Lady Gaga's the shit. Alrighty then. So now, I think what I want to do. I wonder if I should make this. 1 second. All right, I am back this time. Then try. I can do like a perfect.
I've overheard your theory, nostalgia is for geeks. I guess, sir, if you say so, some of us just like to read. 1 second, I'm a Kunstmann.
Brownish red, brownish red.
Pop culture was in art, now art and pop culture in me. I live for the applause, applause, applause. I live for the applause, applause, live for the applause, applause, live for the way that you cheer and scream for me. Applause, applause, applause. Give me the feeling of applause in the mind zone. Put your hands up, make 'em turn and turn. Give me the feeling of applause.
Do you even have a brownish red? Second. 1 second. Gotta make sure that you have a brownish red. Bird Bear is red. Does. What they got for it? Morphing brown? Or that'd be Mornfang brown and with Wildwood. Doombull brown? Oh, that. This one. Another towel. You go through a lot of paper towels, at least in bits and spurts. It ain't too bad if you're pacing. I need this. Let's. Huh? It's not me. And in your thing. Good, actually. Yeah. Now. Ugh.
Proper bottle of piss me off.
Trying to come along a little bit. I have to workshop this idea a bit. Oh, now it's out of focus. That's gonna be it for me tonight. Getting late. I gotta get some bed, so I'll catch y'all later. Stay safe.